Well, as Israel's war against Hamas continues, last month a delegation of evangelical Christian leaders traveled to Israel, standing with that country at war and the Jewish people. The delegation, which included FRC's Ken Blackwell, toured Israeli communities along the Gaza border, met with hostage families, and were briefed by Israeli military officials. Well, join me now to discuss this trip is Sam Brownback, the former U.S. Ambassador at Large for International Religious Freedom, who was also on that trip. Ambassador Brownback, welcome back to Washington Watch. Great to see you.
Hey, good to see you again, Tony, and belated Merry Christmas.
Well, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Before we get into your trip to Israel, I want to get your reaction to the Biden administration continuing to refuse to hold the Nigerian government accountable for the slaughter of Christians in that country. Between December the 23rd and the 28th, over 200 Christians were killed in that country, and this is just the latest.
And it's one of the most dangerous places on earth to be a Christian. Now, unfortunately, in a place like Nigeria, it's a wonderful country, but the government there has been feckless, and the administration here has been feckless in holding them accountable, and also pointing out that you've got terrorist groups all over that nation operating, and the government there is doing nothing about it. I thought it was a terrible mistake. They didn't list them as a country of particular concern. It's the second year in a row they haven't done this, and it's going to just breed more problems in West Africa by them failing to do this. This is a terrible decision by the administration.
What makes it even worse, Ambassador, is that during your tenure and during my tenure as chairman of the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, we first succeeded in getting Nigeria recognized as a country of particular concern. And so that became, an issue for the government our government to prioritize religious freedom. In fact, President Trump held the feet to the fire of the Nigerian leaders when they came to the United States. That's no longer the case.
And deaths went down of Christians in Nigeria after President Trump pushes the president of Nigeria at that time, says, hey, why are you killing all the Christians? Why are all the Christians getting killed? And he goes, well, of course they're not. What he did then went back and assigned his military to go out and address these issues, and the death numbers went down. And now it's all over the place, and you're going to end up with a big problem and war, and maybe people trying to divide Nigeria again if you don't get on top of this.
Well, you could have a refugee crisis as people flee from Nigeria, which is the most populous country in Africa. So this, again, shows elections have consequences, especially something so fundamental and important as this. Life, religious freedom, it's all connected. Ambassador, I want to get your thoughts on your recent trip to Israel. You were there on the ground speaking with survivors. You actually saw the evidence of the atrocity, the brutality of Hamas and the terrorist attack there. Tell us about it.
It's horrific. Tony, this is the 9th time I think I've been in Israel. I've been there a number of times. I have never seen the nation itself so set on doing something as they are now. We were at a lunch in Tel Aviv and had a missile attack going on. Now, the Iron Dome stopped it, but everybody had to get up and go to the shelter during that period of time. Went to the kibbutz that was 1.5 miles from the Gaza that had been overrun by the terrorists, and people just slaughtered indiscriminately. What I did see in the Israeli people was a resolve that this is it. It's over. We're going to go at this, and we appreciate the American support. We want the American support, but we are going. We cannot live with terrorists funded and supported and organized and armed by Iran in Gaza Strip, in Lebanon right next to us, in Syria, and directed and helped, supported, guided by Iran. They're going to deal with this, and we need to help them and stand with them.
Well, you hear the comments from this administration, the Biden administration, well, we still need to pursue a two-state solution. Isn't that essentially what we had with Gaza that was self-governed since 2007? And it shows that it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. And the United States itself, if we had this situation, we would not tolerate it. right there in your country, right next to you, you've got terrorist groups that want to literally wipe you out and are willing and have shown the brutality by going in and killing babies and the carnage that they wreaked indiscriminately around there. That it just proved to the Israeli people, we have to deal with this, and the United States needs to be clear on the moral issue here. Do we want to see another genocide of the Jewish people like what happened in Hitler's Germany? I think not, but you've got that level of barbarism right there next to them that wants to destroy them.
It appears, even this week, as Secretary Blinken was in Israel, basically telling Israel to back off, that they are not. There is a recognition that this is the time we have to resolve this issue now.
It is, and I think we need to put a lot more pressure on Iran. One of the mistakes the Biden administration has done is ease up and let funding go and money go to Iran that is the center of this terrorist effort. They're the ones funding and organizing and arming Hamas and Hezbollah and doing similar things in Syria. We have to push back on Iran, and things will not change in that region for Israel until they deal with the terrorists and Iran's leadership is changed.
Ambassador, we only have about 30 seconds left, but later this month, the International Religious Freedom Summit, which you are the co-chair, is being held in Washington. Tell us about it.
January 30th, 31st, biggest gathering of international religious freedom advocates from around the world. We'll have people from 50 to 70 different countries. We've got 80 different groups putting this on. If you're interested in religious freedom international in any part of the world, you should come and sign up. You can go on the website to join that, IRF Summit 2024, IRF Summit 2024. It's going to be it'll be the best one we've ever had. And more and more people are coming into the movement, and we've got to make this grassroots movement grow to support religious freedom around the world.
Well, I appreciate you leading that effort, because in the absence of having an administration that has prioritized it, we need those voices out there keeping this issue before the American people and the international community. Ambassador, always great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good to see you. God bless you, Tony.